On a quiet summer day in Florida, a 2-year-old girl named Caylee Anthony was reported missing. But the most disturbing part of this case wasn't just the disappearance. It was the delay. For 31 days, there was no official report, no public alert, no police search launched by the person closest to her, her mother, Caylee Anthony. When her mother finally contacted emergency services, the situation inside the family home was already breaking apart. The 911 call didn't sound like a simple missing child report. It sounded like confusion, anger, and accusations between family members, each person telling a different version of events. Caylee Anthony claimed her daughter had been left with a nanny, a stranger who, according to her story, had suddenly disappeared along with the child. But investigators quickly ran into something strange. There was no trace of this nanny anywhere. No employment records. No phone number. No neighbors who knew her. No confirmed identity at all. It was as if the person responsible for the disappearance didn't exist. As police began digging deeper, they noticed something even more unsettling. Caylee Anthony was not behaving the way people expected a missing child's mother to behave. Instead of constant cooperation and urgency, witnesses and reports suggested she was still going out, socializing, and appearing in public during the time her daughter was missing. That contradiction became one of the most debated aspects of the entire case. Then, weeks later, the investigation took a devastating turn. Human remains were discovered in a wooded area near the Anthony family home. DNA testing later confirmed the remains belonged to Caylee Anthony, only 2 years old. At that moment, the case shifted completely. What was once a missing person investigation became a homicide case that would grip the entire United States. The trial of Caylee Anthony began in 2011 and quickly became one of the most televised and controversial court cases in American history. The prosecution built their case around a narrative of deception. They pointed to the delayed report, the inconsistent explanations, and the story about a nanny that could not be verified. They argued that the evidence showed a pattern of lies designed to mislead investigators. The defense, however, presented a very different theory. They claimed Caylee's death was a tragic accident, an unexpected drowning in the family environment, and that what followed was not a planned act, but a series of panic-driven decisions and cover-ups within the household. Every day in court brought new emotional testimony, new arguments, and new controversy. The nation watched closely, divided in opinion, trying to piece together a truth that never felt fully clear. Then came the moment that changed everything. The verdict. Not guilty. The courtroom erupted in shock, disbelief, and visible emotion. Outside the courthouse, the reaction was even stronger. Some called it justice. Others called it a failure of the system. And even after the trial ended, the case refused to disappear from public debate. Because one question still lingers more than a decade later. What really happened during those 31 silent days? And in a story filled with missing answers, conflicting narratives, and emotional weight. The truth remains one of the most controversial mysteries in modern American crime history.